Welcome to the Empowered Essence podcast, where we liberate you and empower you to let your soul lead the way in life and business. I am your host, Laura Lawrence, sharing my thoughts and intimate conversations with featured guests on human design, energetics, and spirituality to provide you with the tools you need to tap into your most authentic self. I am here to empower you to walk away feeling ready to live your most expansive and purposeful life. Let's dive in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Empowered Essence. I'm actually recording this episode in my hotel room in Utah. I've had just an incredible week here. It's just been so amazing being amongst these red rocks, having this time to think, having this time to reflect. It is just such a magical, majestic place here. So if you've never been to Utah, so I'm in Moab, Utah. And so if you've never been here, you need to come. My husband and I went to Sedona, Arizona about 4 years ago. And I was at a really low point in my life. I shared this on my Instagram page, but I remember standing on top of Cathedral Rock and asking for a sign. You know, I was feeling really purposeless. I just felt like I just lacked direction in my life. We had recently gone through a miscarriage. So I was in this point of depression and I didn't know how to get myself out of it. So I just asked for a sign and I didn't receive anything, at least so I thought in that moment. And I think the lesson out of it was just to trust the journey, that the things that I was going through at that time, the things that I was feeling, the things that I was experiencing were just aligning me to my higher path. And so one morning this week, I was sitting drinking my coffee at the hotel and I was admiring the red rocks once again. And I just started crying. Just this overwhelming sense just came over me, this healing spiritual experience where I realized I was okay. I was actually better than okay. And at the time, back 4 years ago, I didn't think I was okay. And I didn't know what my path forward was, but that's okay. This whole journey over these last 4 years was to find myself again, to find my purpose, to basically transform and recreate myself. That person I was 4 years ago that was burnt out in her corporate job is not that, I'm not that same person anymore. And I needed that journey. I needed that time to find myself. And so what was so beautiful is this week, I launched my human design coaching certification, aligned leadership to the public. And it was just so magical to be able to release that to the world in this magical place. It just felt so right. It's interesting because I was supposed to launch it last week, and that was my logical brain, planning things out and all of the things. But for whatever reason, I made the decision that I wanted to push out the launch 1 week. And I didn't really understand it until I got here, until I got to Utah. And I felt this magic, this majestic nature of this place. And yesterday I went to Arches National Park and I did some hiking and saw these beautiful canyons and arches. And it was so aligned for me to be here. It's like almost like I was meant to be here at this point in time. And I felt like it was very divinely guided to be here because this trip was actually a manifestation. When we were in Sedona, we met a couple that said, if you love Sedona, you have to go to Utah. And it was just always in the back of my mind. And so to be here today is just, I just can't describe it. It feels so amazing to be here. And also my environment for human design, my ideal environment is mountains. So standing on top of those red rocks, just like overlooking these incredible valleys, just being that observer, I just felt so at peace. And it's been an incredible week. There's no way really to describe it other than incredible. And so also, I want to talk to you about the human design coaching certification that I launched. It is called Aligned Leadership. And this has really been my journey. I had to awaken to my power, to my purpose. And now I lead other women to do the same. And so that's what happens when you really truly step into who you are and understand who you are at such a at your core through human design. You can lead and guide other people through that as well. So whether you are a coach, an online service provider, a healer, I really want this program to allow you to integrate human design into your business in a way that feels really good. I do not want to create a bunch of cookie cutter human design readers. I want it to be an integration into whatever it is that you do. So whether you do human design readings, whether you create programs, whether you integrate this understanding of your clients in VIP days or retreats or anything like that, that's what I envision. That's what I envision, this embodiment of human design in your life, and then, providing it to your clients in their businesses. So it's going to be amazing so far. So as I'm recording this, there's 3 women that are in the program already after day 1 of launch. And the goal is to have 10 women. I want 10 women in this program. And I just know this to be true. We start in January. And right now, the price is $4,444. It is a 5-month certification. And you will have everything you need to know about human design in order to see your clients so deeply, to create these lasting transformations because you know how they operate. It's not about you sharing, what worked for you or what worked for other people. It's you being able to know exactly what's going to work for them. So it is going to be transformational, not only for you, but for all of the leaders and women and clients that you serve as well. So I can't wait. Can't wait to get that started. That starts in January. So you've got a little bit of time to join, but this is currently pre-sale pricing at $4,444. Eventually it will go up to $5,555. And so what's interesting, and this is something for my projectors, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Notice I didn't put a timeline on when that price is going up. Something that I've learned in my business is that when I put timelines on things, it puts pressure on me and I feel anxious. I feel like I've got to get out there and I got to talk about my offers and it's just an icky feeling. And I don't like that. I like to feel very spacious. And as projectors, we like to feel space. We don't want to feel pressured or confined. And so for me, having this pre-sale price and not necessarily having a defined end date to this price in terms of when it goes up just feels really good to me. You'll even notice that when I did my waitlist pricing, I extended that out 1 week as well, because I was just feeling like, for my emotional authority as well, which needs to ride the emotional waves and, the highs and lows of every single day. It just felt so good to extend it out. So again, I want this to be a permission slip for you, however feels good for you. So even, having deadlines feels really good for you. That's great. But typically projectors and then also emotional authorities love to have a little bit more space. So that's just something to be aware of. So today's episode is going to be all about projectors. And I wanted to start with projectors because, first of all, I am a projector. And I've just learned so much about myself beyond what you find in textbooks. And so I want to share with you I want to teach you today. So I want to teach you about what a projector is and how we are designed to operate, but then also bring in some of my own lessons and learnings throughout the process. So projectors, we represent 20% of the world's population. So some examples of famous projectors are Barack Obama, the late Queen Elizabeth, as well as Princess Diana. So all of those, I think we're in really great company, first of all, with those individuals, but you can kind of see the vibe, the energy of a projector. Like we are here to lead, to guide, to see things differently, just in the way those individuals communicate and talk to people. there's just this very wise nature about them. And that is also you. There's also a lot of feminine qualities to a projector, more so than some of the other energy types, which is we receive. It's not about the hustle. It's not about the doing. So we all have an undefined sacral, and our sacral is what gives us this life force energy. And so having an undefined sacral is we don't have consistent energy. Projectors tend to have about 4 to 6 hours of working energy a day, and that give or take. So some have less, some have more, depending on, how many defined energy centers you have, what's going on in your life, whether you're on your period or not. Like, there are definitely things that influence that. But in general, this 4 to 6 hours of working energy. And I feel like a lot of projectors, when they first find that out, they're like, no, that's not true. At least that was my case, because I was so used to overworking myself. I was so used to getting to the brink of burnout, which is very, very common for projectors. And so it's not that we are designed to, work less and be lazy. It is that we are designed to be more efficient in terms of what we do. So we can see better, more efficient ways of doing things, which means that we actually don't have to work as much time. So we can do things in a faster, more efficient way than, say, a generator or a manifesting generator. So it's really all about tapping into that. And then what do we do with the rest of our time? The rest of our time is meant to be in nature. It is meant to do things that fill our cup. It is meant to rest. It is meant to be relaxed. And, I'm sure that there are a lot of mothers that are listening to this. And oftentimes it's like, well, with what time do I rest and relax when I do my job, I do my business, and then I've got kids and all of that. So I hear you, I feel you, I see you. But what it really, for me personally, it comes down to just carving out time for myself and knowing that it's not necessarily about the time it takes to do something. It's more about the intention behind it. So, for example, if I'm just feeling, tired after a day, when I put the kids down to bed at night, having a bath, just something that I can just completely disconnect and have a bath, turn on some really beautiful music, and just relax. And even if that is like 10 minutes, it's like that intention of making the most of that 10 minutes, that I will feel rested and recharged after that 10 minutes. And, it might not be a bath. It might be a meditation. It might just be lying in your bed and just not thinking about anything. Whatever that is, it's about the intention. And it could be, going out for a walk with the dog. That could also be something that just kind of clears your mind. The magic happened for me when I gave myself space. And so learning about being a projector, I was actually on maternity leave when I started really, truly diving into human design. And it was the greatest gift. And I know not everyone has the gift of having a maternity leave, but it's the idea of giving yourself space where you're not overbooked, you're not overscheduled. You carve out this time for you just to just shut off your brain, not, look at the to-do list, not, think about, okay, I got to take my kids here, I got to take here. It's just like shutting off your brain for however long that is. And when you do that, all of a sudden emotions could come up, things that you suppress. So, that it could be that. It could be just this, feeling of spaciousness for the first time. And all of a sudden, these things come through, these ideas of things that you want to create, or these ideas of, different wisdom coming through. I often find, like, when I'm out for walks or I'm out in nature and I just have my brain off, that's when I get these downloads for like these really powerful Instagram posts, or, even not even a post, just like a story. I like to just share my insight, share my wisdom. And when I feel invited to do so, so for those who follow me on Instagram or who is listening to me on this podcast, like, I just trust and know that the right people are going to hear that message came through while I tuned out my brain. at that right point in time. And so space is the greatest gift for a projector, to allow yourself to really sink into your gifts, your strengths, having this wisdom, these downloads that come through to you. It's just what helped me really see myself, build this personal power. So projectors, we need to see ourselves before anyone will ever see us. And so it's all about building this personal power, this knowing that what I am here to do, like it just having this like unshakable trust and confidence in ourselves, that we are leading ourselves, that we are leading ourselves in a way that just that also feels really good to us. But there's this genuine fear of being seen as well. And so we need to get over that first and foremost, because when we are seen and we are standing in our power, we are sharing our truth, that's when people start to recognize us. That's when we start feeling our projector alignment of success, is when people are, inviting us in and wanting us to share our wisdom. So our strategy in human design is to wait for the invitation. So there's a lot of people that get kind of hung up on that. Well, you're telling me that I need to be seen. I need to get out there. I need to talk about my business, my truth, all of the things, but I have to wait for an invitation. How does that work? And realistically, it's really all about, if you're running your business through social media, it's sharing your insights, sharing the things that you see, because technically, if you look at it this way, anyone who's agreed to follow you on your social media has invited you in. They have invited you in to share your opinions, your visions, the way that you see things. And so it's getting out there, just communicating that, sharing what you see, how you do things differently, how you see others doing things, or how they could do things differently. And so it's getting out there, sharing that. And then invitations will come in. So for me, a lot of when I first, launched my human design coaching business, I would get these like beautiful invitations about speaking in people's masterminds or in their communities. And that's really how I personally built my business, is speaking engagements. So people inviting me into their communities, I would talk about human design, and their community members would be just so excited, and they'd book a human design reading, or some even wanted to work with me one-on-one right away. And that's really how the snowball starts for a projector, is you get these opportunities, when you start sharing your wisdom on social media, these people are going to hear it. The right people, like knowing and trusting that the right people will hear that. And for me, it was these speaking opportunities that really is what got my business going, because I was able to reach people in a way that they felt connected to me already, because I came in as an expert that was recommended by their leader of their community. And so it felt really good. It felt really good to grow my business in that way. And then from there, my power on social media, like I really started to understand, my energy on social media, what I enjoyed doing, what I didn't enjoy doing. And then my power on social media and my energy on social media really expanded. My aura expanded. And that's how I started calling in people just through social media. People I had never talked to that just started following me and would reach out for a human design reading, or would reach out to me to work with me one-on-one, or even actually my Empowered Essence course too. People that I had never met or talked to, or didn't even know that was following me, reached out to join my program. So there's a lot in this about projectors today. And I think I'm going to leave it here. I think I've given you a lot of powerful nuggets to mull over and to see where this is coming up in your life, and how you can integrate it. So if you have any questions after this episode, or even aha moments, if you have questions, if you have aha moments, my DMs are always open. I would love to hear from you. I get so excited going to my podcast stats on my Kajabi site and seeing that, 20 people listened to my episode today, or, like I've had, I think like 130 some odd downloads already, just through, Apple Podcasts and Spotify and such. And I think like almost like 70 on YouTube too. And so it just gets me really excited to know that many people are listening to me. So I would love for you to reach out to me to say that you enjoyed the show. Let me know what your aha moments are. I'm so blown away that there are people that just want to learn more about human design. They want me to guide them. And I feel so grateful and honored to be walking this path with each and every one of you. So until next time, keep shining your light. You are beautiful, beautiful souls. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Empowered Essence. If you loved this episode, don't forget to leave a rating and review on your favorite platform. And until next time, keep shining your light.